Chapter 618, The Green Cloud Sent Being. This chapter is updated by novels.pl. Actually, Jang Yuochen had another reason for bringing out the Deadwood Staff. He wanted to encourage his own warriors to attack the enemy with a heavy blow. By giving the Deadwood Staff to Red Wish Emissary, Jang Yuochen was hitting two birds with one stone. The famous Ice Demon was killed by the Great Guardian, Raw. He caused a sensation among the evil cultivators at Quicksand Canyon. Our Great Guardian is truly divine. Even a presence like the Ice Demon couldn't beat you. The Great Guardian deserves his fame. There is nothing else we could do other than pay respects and look at him in awe. Haha. The Great Guardian is here. Do they still think that they will kill us today? After the assassinations by Hunter and the run from the murderous cyan-robed emissary and the commander-in-chief of the Glazed Knights, Red Wish Emissary's warriors' morale was at an all-time low. However, Jang Yuochen has appeared. Not only did he annihilate a group of Yeti warriors, but also the famous Ice Demon. Everyone was exhilarated. Red Wish Emissary's beautiful eyes stared at Jang Yuochen above her. An indescribable feeling rippled her heart. One must admit that Jang Yuochen was Red Wish Emissary's secret weapon. He was able to calm and boost the team morale. His presence has swept aside the desolate spirit of the evil cultivators and replaced it with excitement. Although cyan-robed emissary was able to break through the lightning fire vortex with her powerful sword cultivation, the strong lightning bolts had hit the collar, sleeves, and hem of her attire. Smoke was billowing from her whole body, which gave her a pitiable impression. Even a master of spiritual power won't be able to reverse your imminent defeat, said cyan-robed emissary in a cold voice. Red Wish Emissary reminded Jang Yuochen at once. Be careful. There's an assassin. Right when Jang Yuochen showed up, Hunter disappeared. He had hidden himself. Cyan-robed emissary smiled disdainfully. Hunter's invisibility skill is highly effective. No one can see his figure. Even a master of spiritual power won't be able to detect him. Hunter, kill the Great Guardian. Every evil cultivator below knew how terrifying Hunter was. They started to worry about Jang Yuochen. If what you said is true, I shall meet the legendary #1 killer of Blood Cloud Sect. Jang Yuochen gave a faint smile. Before Hunter could do anything, Jang Yuochen found his hiding place. He stretched his palm out and pushed it forward. A spherical lightning burst out from his palm, striking Hunter. Crack! Hunter was hit by the spherical lightning. Suddenly, his figure reappeared. A look of surprise flashed across Hunter's eyes. He could not have imagined someone seeing through his art of invisibility. The power of the spherical lightning did not injure him badly, but it paralyzed him temporarily. In that brief moment, Jang Yuochen struck at Hunter's chest with the Wind and Thunder finger. Bam! A metallic clang rang out. Hunter's chest slightly bulged inward after the impact of the Wind and Thunder finger. He was thrown backward like an arrow off the bow. With a loud thud, Hunter's body hit the cliff behind him, leaving a cavity in the rock. Jang Yuochen looked at his finger and felt pain and numbness in his fingertips. It felt like his finger had hit an iron plank. Hunter must have possessed some treasure like a chest-protecting mirror that allowed him to withstand Jang Yuochen's strike. Everyone watching the scene was flabbergasted. Their chins nearly dropped to the ground. They stared at Jang Yuochen as if he were a demon, incredulous. Hunter was terrifying. Everyone feared him. He was like the god of death whom no one could fight. Hunter's assassinations almost caused Red Wish Emissary to suffer a mental breakdown. Jang Yuochen only had to use 2 moves to send Hunter flying. How could anyone not be amazed? No one could believe their eyes. They all thought they were hallucinating. A master of spiritual power would have an advantage in a distant battle. A killer would have an advantage in a close-range fight. A master of spiritual power defeating a top killer at close range? Cyan-robed emissary's face turned solemn. Her eyes were fixated on Jang Yuochen and her gaze was full of fear. Hunter has hidden himself again. Hunter, who had just crashed on the cliff wall, had disappeared again. Red Wish Emissary tried using her spiritual power to detect Hunter. Jang Yuochen acted as if nothing had happened, showing no sign of fear. Hunter had super invisibility skill and unsurpassed speed. These were what made him the feared killer he was. Unfortunately, he met Jang Yuochen. Jang Yuochen had released his space domain long ago. So, regardless of how powerful his invisibility skill was, Hunter had no place to hide. With the powers of the Shooting Star Invisible Cloak, No one from the realm of a half-saint was a match for Zhang Yuochen's speed. Swoosh! Out of nowhere, someone lunged out a blood-red sword from behind Zhang Yuochen, aiming for his back. However, Zhang Yuochen quickly took one step to his left and easily avoided the blade. He then struck forward at an even faster speed. It was the Wind and Thunder finger again. This time, he hit Hunter on his neck. Hunter was just as superb. He quickly performed a bodily movement and levitated a meter into the air. Zhang Yuochen's strike just barely missed the vital part of Hunter's neck. Unfortunately, Zhang Yuochen had already predicted Hunter's escape route. He condensed a second-level magic arts. The Wrath of Thunder God, a 9-meter thunderbolt giant appeared behind Hunter's neck. With immense power, it crashed the thunder hammer down on Hunter's head. Bam! Hunter's face was dripping with blood. His head had almost shrunken into his neck as he quickly fell to the ground. He crashed on the bottom of the canyon, leaving a large 15-meter crater. The master of the Blood Cloud sect, Xihong, rushed at once into the crater to check Hunter's injuries. He found that Hunter had lost consciousness due to his injuries, but he was not dead. Hunter was a monk of the 9th change in the Fish Dragon realm who had already cultivated a glazed treasured body. Hence, his physical defense was very strong and he would not die easily. Xihong stared at Red Wish Emissary with pleading eyes and said, "Your Excellency, Hunter has already been severely injured by the Great Guardian. He's not capable of fighting anymore. Will you please spare his life?" Hunter has assassinated so many masters from Red Wish Emissary's side. How could she let him off so easily? But Xihong was still an important officer under her. If she gave orders to kill Hunter, Xihong might rebel. How then should she deal with Hunter? Zhang Yuochen said, "I think we should lock Hunter up until Yi is killed and Your Excellency becomes the new young master. Once the lot is cast, Hunter would not rebel against Your Excellency." Xihong gave Zhang Yuochen a grateful look. "Thank you so much, Great Guardian. I shall write off the feud between you and the Blood Cloud sect." Whether Hunter was dead or alive made little difference to Zhang Yuochen, so there was no reason for him not to do Xihong a favor. Red Wish Emissary heard Zhang Yuochen's words and suppressed the murderous surge in her heart. Since the Great Guardian has said this, I shall let him live for the moment. The fact that Hunter was seriously injured was another big blow to Cyan-robed Emissary and the Glazed Knights. The Great Guardian used to be someone they ignored, but now he had become their number one enemy. No wonder you are known as the Great Guardian. You are truly capable. I have underestimated you. Cyan-robed Emissary gave an icy look and exhibited a bodily movement of ghost-level inferior class. With each step she took, she covered 30 meters. Soaring upward, she seemed to be stepping on void space. She had to meet Zhang Yuochen herself. "Great Guardian, let me give you a hand." Shibuchu's body emitted an aureole of colored glaze. He dipped his toes downward and pushed up, quickly soaring to the sky. He squeezed his fist into a ball and striked with a High Cloud Fist. High Cloud Fist was a ghost-level fist technique of the inferior class. Shibuchu's cultivation had reached the 9th change in the Fish Dragon realm. He was the second best fighter after Xihong under Red Wish Emissary. After striking with his fist, Shibuchu's fist started radiating a brilliant light. Shadowy fists the size of small hills started to float in the air, resembling bright suns. Cyan-robed Emissary cast a glance at Shibuchu. She snorted coldly and started running powerful holy chi around her 4 holy meridians. Swoosh! Strong holy chi kept pouring out from Cyan-robed Emissary's meridians, condensing into a holy cyan cloud. The holy cyan cloud covered a large area. Every stream of holy chi weighed 5 tons and they crushed Shibuchu. With a loud thud, Shibuchu hit the ground again and half of his body sank into the ground. The holy cyan cloud crushed down on Red Wish Emissary and her evil cultivators. Even with their combined attack, a dozen evil cultivators could not withstand the weight. They vomited blood and collapsed. Even Red Wish Emissary and the evil masters of the 7th change in the Fish Dragon realm were having a hard time withstanding the pressure. They could not breathe. Only a saintly being of small success could emit such special power. It was so incredible that no one in the same realm could bear it. You think you can confront a saintly being with your collective power? You have overestimated yourselves. Cyan-robed Emissary snorted and turned into a streak of green light. She soared up, waving her holy sword and hacked at Zhang Yuochen above. Once cyan-robed emissary had soared, the holy cyan cloud soared up as well. The two forces were now pressuring Zhang Yuochen instead. The evil warriors could feel the pressure on them relieved. Oh no! Cyan-robed emissary had activated the saintly being power of small success. The great guardian is no match for her. Red Wish emissary's face paled as she began to worry for Zhang Yuochen. High above Quicksand Canyon, a woman's laughter was heard. I've long known that cyan-robed emissary possesses a green cloud sent being. Today I shall see if her legendary saint being is as powerful as people say. Dressed in a long teal skirt, Mu Lynx Eye was also wearing a mask. She landed vertically from the top of the left cliff, waving a white holy sword. She striked at cyan-robed emissary. Zhang Yuochen stood in the same place, without showing any intention to fight. He was quite curious about Mu Lynx Eye's strength, as he could not see through Mu Lynx Eye's cultivation at the moment. She must have some true abilities to dare oppose a saintly being. I don't think she's much weaker than cyan-robed emissary, thought Zhang Yuochen to himself.